Hi, guys. Can you see you saying we're waiting? I was having a little trouble getting online. Hopefully, I'm traveling. Hopefully, my internet connection will stay well enough for you to be able to see me. Let me know in the chat that you can see that we are live. So, welcome. Today, we are going to dive in, and we have a handout, and we're going to talk about courage. Hi, Sally. Nice to see you. So, hey there. Hi there. Ho there. So I'm going to give you the link right away, and then perhaps those of you, because I know people are watching both on YouTube and on Facebook. So if you are watching on YouTube, or if you can see, oh, I know what I'll do here. I'm still learning this platform. Hey, Julian in Scotland and Charles, nice to see you guys. Let me put that there for you. So, and then I'm getting fancy. So here's the handout link. So if someone could, I can't put that in the chat from here. So, hey, Heather, so someone would be fantastic. That's how you get to the handout for today. So for those of you who don't know, I'm traveling, and well, I was traveling. I guess I'm not traveling anymore. I was traveling I typically am in California, and cheers everyone. And I went to New York to celebrate my birthday, which was on March 4th. Such an apropos birthday for me, marching through life. And then I came, thank you, Joy. I didn't see that you were here. Nice to see you. Yay. I came to Montreal to visit my son, and then everything went haywire. And so I'm still in Montreal, and I think I'm just going to hunker down here with him. So if you listen carefully, you might be able to hear Old School playing in the background. It's been Netflix Central, man, here in Montreal. So we're just, getting some mom and son time, and it's awesome. So that's my plan right now. Thank you for the birthday wishes. We'll just keep you updated on Bonne nuit, bonsoir. And I've been practicing French, and this will be my opportunity. Well, although I'm not really seeing anybody, but I'm just going to crank on the French television while I'm here. So can everyone see the video? I am, Charles. So there you go. We'll keep you posted, and we'll see how long I stay here. I have no idea right now. I'm just, that's what we're going to talk about, courage. I'm showing some courage right now just by staying here. So although I'm staying courage, it's kind of silly actually, but we'll talk about this in a bigger way in a moment. So Bonne nuit works as well. I think that's what you say more when you're leaving, right? I'm still learning. Actually, it wasn't too bad. I'm already adapting. Look at me, the California wimp, total California wimp. But it was like I think it was 50s in the 50s, which is good. And it's going to be like 60 something tomorrow. Dancing with uncertainty, right? Courage. Shall we talk about it? Yeah, I might be having buffering problems too. I might do an Airbnb where I can get better Wi-Fi, and we're looking into that. So we're still kind of up in the air. So I apologize if I'm cutting in and out. Hopefully it'll be enough. I don't know, Ed. What put the ape in apricot? What? Dude, I have enough hard time like focusing. Doug's here, yay! Doug's here. I didn't see Doug come in. So yeah, make sure that you download the handout, and you'll see click on the link. You need to enter your name and email. The reason that we do that is because then we can gauge how many people like what we're doing, and we can kind of more of what you like. So that's why we have you enter your name and email. It just helps us track the handouts and let us know, because we have a lot of handouts. I like handouts. I think handouts are good. I like handouts. I'm a handout girl. What can I say? It would be Malbec or Pinot Noir, or what's the other one? Cabernet. You can tell I'm a big wine connoisseur. Cabernet for me. But I guess Chardonnay is more French, though. I don't know. We're dancing with uncertainty on all levels. And so I thought it would be a good... Oh, I get it now, Ed. Put them up. Put them up. I got you. And something I say all the time. Wait. Trapped like mice, rats. It's one of my favorite lines ever. When I use a lot. Thank you. Um, took me a minute. I'm not drinking anything. I'm the one that dances and people think I'm drunk. I've actually had someone tell me to drive safe going home and they weren't sure I could drive. And I was like, I haven't had a single drop of alcohol, thank you. And they were like, oh, I'm sorry. So good, right? I do wish I could see you right back at you because I would love to see that. So I can totally picture it though, just so you know. I'm totally picturing you doing Burt Law. So good. So, and that's actually a really, as always, Wizard of Oz is, the hero's journey. Wizard of Oz, like, really, encapsulates every story there ever has been told. And what exactly, I didn't even put this together, but exactly what we're going to talk about today is depicted in the Wizard of Oz in terms of the physical courage and the mental brain and the heart. So apropos. So put a selfie in the chat, please. Says Shri. I think we should do that. Oddly, you were the scarecrow. Come on, let's be honest. You were the wizard. Sorry. Okay, we're totally off on another thing. So this is what we do in screen readers all the time. But today we're going to stay focused because I like to keep the gatekeeper sessions a little bit shorter. But we're having fun, and that's the main thing that we want. I have not seen that yet, Charles. Oz the Powerful. I definitely want to check it out. So, when we talk about courage and movies, and that's the Wizard of Oz is actually a really good example of sort of courage being portrayed more real, even though it's that he's the thing about being courageous is that you're afraid, and it really kind of sucks. And so courage really kind of, it's not, it's depicted often in movies as being this like, here we go, we're going to be courageous, we're going to go into battle, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of the times people that are courageous are ignorant or a little bit stupid, or, those kind of go hand in hand sometimes. And so because they're not thinking about the consequence, instead they're just thinking about the action. And so sometimes something really, courage is such an interesting thing to study. And so I thought in these times of uncertainty, in these times when things are a little bit haywire everywhere, it's a good time for us. If you're here right now, and I see we have quite a few people here, if you're here, you are like setting this example that's pretty astounding. And I just want to honor you for that you're choosing as we mess around. I think it's important. So I'm not, as much as the chat makes me want to sing, I'm not going there. King of the Forest, one of my favorite. I was the scarecrow. I really was. I did scarecrow. If I only had a brain, in a talent show in 7th grade. Yes, I did. I won 2nd place. Someone else sang, I wrote the songs. Okay, they won 1st place. I was very happy. She was my friend. We were both very happy. Anywho. So I really think I think we should all claim ourselves to be king of wherever we're from, or queen, or whatever, like gender free, whatever you want. But I really think that this is the time for us to come and play like this. I think these kinds of meetings, and if you can do this like brain, really, I highly encourage that we get together and do this, because I really think it's healing, right? I think it gives us something to think about. It gives us a little break from the chaos and the uncertainty, and we can kind of share this time together. And as writers, we have a couple of things in that we can use these sessions. We can use our secret weapon that we talk about, which is, what's our secret weapon? Class. Ruler. There we go. That is one of our secret weapons, is courage. Thank you. There's another one that I talk about all the time, is we're writers, right? We can use our secret weapon of writing. We can really, you guys are off on your own. I'm just gonna let you chat amongst yourselves. You can really use your ability to be a writer to really cultivate courage. And so that's why I wanted to talk about courage as well as of our script. I think it's really important in our lives, really important. If you're here, you're demonstrating courage, you're demonstrating that you're not just like, yep, reading as well as another secret weapon that we have in order to step up and do something different, help someone create a story. All of this stuff that we're doing, that we're creating, is a really good way to set an example for everyone else. So typically in our handouts, we talk about creating a character, and then we kind of say, how can you apply this to your lives? But today I want to flip it, in part because I really think it's, I'm glad that you're writing all the time. I can't see who that is. You don't have, whoever wrote that, it says Facebook user. You have to click on the StreamYard.com and allow them to show your name. I wanted to do it the other way around, in part because of our uncertain times, because of where we're going through. I really want to try to be, a leader or a voice or a place that you can go to escape the uncertainty and escape the things that you're feeling afraid about. And let's focus on courage in our own lives, and then we'll apply it to our characters. Hey, Carol, glad you made it. Love it, Charles. As a writer, it's all about keeping going and taking the steps and putting your trust in others to get the screenplay out there. In courage too, in life too, that totally applies. In life, it's all about keeping going, keeping going and taking the steps and putting your trust in others and getting your life out there, right? This is what Doug and I talked today, and we're talking about, there's a lot going on. He's got a lot going on already, and now this on top. And it's like, what does this mean? What is the opportunity here? And so we really think, and we're building on how are we going to create this to be something where it's about creating life and creating screenplays. And I'm so thrilled about this, and really think this can be improve our lives, improve the industry, improve screenplays, improve things as a whole. So I'm really excited about this, actually, and I think it can really be something that could be very, very cool for all of us. So we're doubling down on that and really trying to be that voice. So as we go through the handout, I wanted to point out that the first, we continuously broke it down into 3 sections. And so I wanted to kind of talk about our own lives and courage, and how, kind of talk about what is, think to a moment when you were really afraid and you had to step up in something that, if you're a parent, you have these, like, you get this training if you're a parent. But really, what are moments when you're stepping up and stepping into life, and what does that feel like in the moment? It's not good. You don't feel good. It's really, hey, Mickey. It's like really, it's so really think about those moments for you. Clearly afraid, because courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is the presence of fear and taking a step anyway. So in those moments, and it could be even the moments and waves, which I think we're all having, a fear, and sometimes our mind runs away with the worst case scenario, and there's just so much uncertainty right now. It's like, well, it is people with anger management problems, but I think it's everyone. I think we all have this. So and Anna brings up a really good point too. In her case, is fighting imposter syndrome with being brave enough to be willing to fall and be told your work is not good. Pshaw on that. That's what I have to say. And it's okay. It's harder than it looks sometimes, and it's harder than it's portrayed. We have so many, these superhero movies and stuff where it's portrayed as being not easy, but somewhat easy. You just dive in and we're just going. And I love it when a film really captures that moment of pure terror before a character acts are going to do. And I really think as you're creating your authentic screenplays, the more that you can create these down moments of sheer terror, even, and sometimes for some people, like as an actor, I'm not typically nervous, really nervous. I'm a little bit nervous ahead of time, but afterwards, after I do whatever it is, sometimes I'll come off stage and just have a total meltdown. And I think, and it's really interesting, right? Like we all kind of handle it in different ways. And I come from a family of, I'm the youngest with all older brothers. And yet I was the kind of caretaker. And so in times of chaos or whatever, it's like, I could kind of focus in and sort of take care of stuff and let things go. My son is absolutely amazing that way. Like he can really focus in times of chaos. And I think some of that is nurture nature. Some of it we naturally have, while some people just, are useless in a crisis. And you're just like, and as a matter of fact, they make things worse, like very common. So So let's think about those moments of being afraid and those moments when you're calling on courage, like what's happening physically. And even now, as these uncertain times when you're feeling fear, you have waves of fear, everyone carries it in a different way. Some people get migraines, some people get a backache, some people just, you feel sick to your stomach. I mean, sick to your stomach is very much fear. It's very associated with fear as being feeling nauseous. It's very much we feel nauseous on rides and that kind of thing. And there's a physicality to things spinning or whatever, but in general, butterflies in your stomach to the point of being nauseous is the more terrified you are. It's very common for people to feel sick when they're afraid. Self-isolating, that's a really good, you self-isolate. Oh, I was going to say it was an example of fear. Sometimes you self-isolate, but from useless people. So we're going to get to that in a moment. I love it. So yeah, totally, so true. And I do it in the original run of Star Trek. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That's not a weakness, that is life. And it's also possible that your mistakes are not mistakes, that your mistakes are the thing that lead you to the thing where you were supposed to do. And really, really make, right now we're making a lot of decisions, and decision debt and decisions can cause fear. Decisions, that uncertainty can make it to where you're making a lot of decisions just in terms of, should I go out and get groceries today, or should I stay in, or should I move? I mean, I've been doing that, obviously, like, should I go home? Should I stay? What should I do? So those kinds of decisions, they're taxing. And so if you kind of think about how you're doing physically, think about where are you carrying, we have this underlying stress that's happening right now. No denying it. It's happening. So rather than being like, I'm fine, like, acknowledge it, feel it, allow yourself to feel it, allow yourself to go through it, feel where you're feeling it, where is it manifesting, and try to actually feel it and work your way through it, as opposed to denying it, because if you deny it, it only festers. So being able to feel your way through it, and then kind of also acknowledging that something else might trigger you. So you might end up fighting with someone in your family, or snapping at someone or something like that, because you've got this underlying thing. So let's all acknowledge that that's there, and then that will help us take it to the next level, right? So it's really being able to kind of process that, really, really able to marry those two things of feeling through it and processing, and really acknowledging that that's actually there. So as you do that, being able to really recognize when you're carrying stress, really tap into how your body's feeling, and then you're mentally, like, these are the three categories we're talking about in regards to all of this: is the physicality of what's happening, where is it landing in your body, how are you feeling not so great when you're feeling that fear, what's going on in your body, and then mentally, what's going on, what are the thoughts that you're having, how much are you imagining the worst case scenario. I often say two things about people and their imagination, is that we all, and in here we're very creative and we use our imagination all the time, which is awesome, but most people use their imagination to imagine about all the bad things that are going to happen to them. That's a very common way people use their imagination. And when people start, there are times when you want to sort of project to make a decision, but no one can predict the future. So it's like, how much time do you spend reeling your way down the worst case scenario? And how does that serve you? I'm here to really tap you into, is this serving you or not? Sometimes it does. Sometimes you go down that path and it helps you make a decision. But then once you make that decision, you've made it, move on. Don't beat yourself up for any decisions you made in the past. There's no point in that. There's no regret. To me, as such, is the most wasted emotion. Regret, or I was going to say guilt, but mostly regret, because there's nothing to do about it now. We need to start from now and now and now. You made a decision to stay here, be here. I think it will serve you. Like, what are the decisions that you're making that are serving you? And how can you honor yourself and not beat yourself up for decisions? You are always making the best decision that you can in the moment that you're in, with all of the information that you have. So beating yourself up for any kind of decision making that you feel that later you're going to regret, let that go. Like, that's totally does not serve you at all. So if we can kind of really think about, really listen to what those thoughts are, and we're going to get to how to do that in a moment, but really listening to in your head? What's going on? What if, what kind of thoughts did you have today? Think about it. Like, think about, what did you do today? And okay, so go to what you were doing today. I don't know what you were doing today. I have no idea. But what were you thinking while you were doing it? What was going on? I went to the pharmacy today and we were laughing because I was so excited to go outside, right? The simple trip to the pharmacy, and I got bright pink fingernails and I painted my fingernails, like, to try and do something fun, right? To like keep myself like doing things. So, and doing things that that's not something I normally do, but I was like, what the heck? I got that, and I got a blue one, and I got a green one, just for fun. Like, trying to think of fun things that we could do. So really, like, what did you do today, and what were you thinking? So there were times when I had moments of, I'm out here with a bunch of people, and there were times of fear within that, I'm not gonna lie. There were times of like, and there were times of like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. Just normal. He was stocked with toilet paper. So it was like, I actually took a picture of it because it was like, oh, look, we're going to be okay. But it's these moments, right? And my son has been awesome. And we've had some moments of really talking things through. And then we've had moments of just like out hilarious laughter. So it's like finding those moments, right? So it's really, really important. And so what are the thoughts? Think about, what were you thinking in these? I'm kind of sharing some of mine. Think about, so where has your brain been at? Like, think about it. What kinds of thoughts? And have those thoughts been serving you? Are they helping you? Do you feel better? Are they making you feel better? Or are they making you feel worse? Like, really think about it. So that's the physical and that's the mental part. Then you've got your environment. And here's where we kick in, right? This is your environment right now. Nice, safe, happy. I want to hold this fun space for you. This is enjoyment. We share things that are intense, like we did there. For those of you, if you haven't done the Mastering Your Money session, that was amazing. And everybody like was so vulnerable, and they shared pretty deep, hard things. But it was a safe, sacred, cool space. And I mean, I came out of that, I don't know about you, but that was amazing. And so being able to be here, share this, space, really think about what we're doing, really share our experiences, joke about the Wizard of Oz, whatever, like this is our environment. So really, if you're totally therapy session / script writing, that's kind of what we're kind of thinking of figuring out, because it all goes together, and we'll wrap it up. Usually we do script writing into therapy, but I kind of like this method. I don't know. So, but when you look at your environment, how have you been showing up in your environment as well? Now you might say, my people are being crazy out there and they're acting this, but how are you showing up? Are you showing up as a leader? Are you showing up as someone who's calm in the storm? Are you showing up in a way that's beneficial to others, that's serving you and them? People sometimes say, when you're, Brooke Castillo talks about this in such a great way, and talks about the idea of being selfish, and that some people say, when she says, and I say this all the time, I'm just going to focus on myself, and people go, oh, you're so selfish. And it's like, wait, what? Put the mask on yourself. You can't take care of anyone if you don't take care of yourself. Make sure that we're going to get to this in a moment, but that idea of being selfish is, you're only selfish if you're taking something to the detriment of someone else. If you're just taking care of yourself, as a matter of fact, that's not selfish. That's the opposite of selfish. You are making yourself well so that you can handle other people and be in a better and not expect not being someone else to be the person who steps forward for you. I think it really, 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 we have something that flips sometimes when people think, well, no, you should be. Anyone who just starts their sentence with "you should be," that's like right there. They need to, one finger point out this and all the rest point this way. I love that analogy. So it's like, taking care of yourself, really, really, like, yeah, it's wearing deodorant. It's a really good example. Take care of that, will you? Because it affects the rest of us. So during all of this time, you want to look at the environment that you have around you, and make that as the best environment you can be. Keep your area clean. I think that helps, especially now in these times. Like, take care of yourself, and then also really be aware if those thoughts that are in your head that are making you crazy you need to get rid of yourself before you wreck yourself, as Zach Galifianakis would say. So it's like, how can you show up for someone else in a good way? Yeah, people that get terrified often write their memoirs afterwards, right? And we are just like, yeah, I love, and you're not hoarding. That's good too. Just, be thoughtful. I'm glad that you showered today, Ed. That's a step in the right direction. I think there's something to that, though. Is showering is so nice, right? There's some, and plus it frees us up. It frees your brain. It's a cleansing inside and out, and so it really is like, that is kind of a way to free yourself for sure. So yeah, and I think too, I mean, we have the secret weapon. Actually, it's so funny. I didn't even, well, I sort of did. I was gonna say I didn't put this specifically to write in the handout, but it really is like what we bring to other people. So as you're looking at, how do we create courage in real life? If you go back to those 3 categories and you start with the physical, breath is huge. Take breaths like that all the time. Just that. Taking a breath, holding it in, letting it out, sitting for a moment with your breath out, then bringing it in all day, especially now. Really, breath, your body is craving breath. When we talked about those physical ailments that we talked about, if you're carrying, stress in some place, breathing and imagining that place opening up, receiving that breath, that will make blood actually flow to that area in your body and help heal it. Breath is an amazing, amazing, amazing tool. So, yeah, I love it, Ed. I love it. And I love that he's sharing that too, the darkness, right? There are so many ways, and that's what we're going to talk about now. So breath is definitely one of them. Like really paying attention to those physical things, stretching, even if you're confined to a wheelchair or even if you have physical ailments, you can still stretch areas of your body. Anything that you could stretch and then bring it back, anything. They say that that women that are able to do, this table is really unstable. any kind of stretch exercises where you can open yourself up, like it actually staves off disease, being able to stretch like that. And it's really, really important, right? So it's like really like, yeah, oh, honey hugs. I love it. I love that. That's where Halder goes. Right. It really is. And I love that we're sharing this with each other and we have each other to share with, right? So being able to just, if you you enough to like really stretch and touch your toe, getting those muscles moving, that's really important. And Yoga with Adrienne, I'm a huge fan. But even if you can't do that, even just a little bit of breath and stretching is really, really huge. And then, if you can exercise, walking, walks, like we can go for walks as long as we stay away from people that typically, even if we're in the city, there's places, where you can just go for a walk. I know, in California, I have friends that are being able to go for a walk on the beach. If you can go to the park for a little while, if you have something in walking, even walking around the block around your house, like just getting some of that fresh air and just kind of taking a walk. I really think if you're able to get out and do that, I think it's super helpful. And if you can do exercising, I definitely recommend it. But the thing that I really wanted to point out that I think is really important that we sort of forget about is creating a routine. So in your physical life, if you can, create a routine, because we are amazing how we adapt, right? Like we're like, oh my gosh, we're all freaked out because a lot of us are now home. Like for me, this hasn't been that big of a change other than the travel aspect, because this is my job. I work from home. So I'm sort of used to that lifestyle. But a lot of people, this is a huge shift. And when you move or you do something new, your routine is disrupted, it really messes up your mind. Even if you just move your dresser to a different place, you'll go to the old place for a long time, right? Before your brain starts to realize, oh no, we're going over here now. Because the way that we survive as a species is we get routine and we go, okay, now we're safe. We've got this routine. We are now safe. So you need to trick and get a routine. Get your body going. Trick your little monkey brain into getting that routine as quickly as possible. So if this is a new shift, a big shift, try to get a routine as quickly as possible. if you're depending on if everything's different, or I know that some of my routine went out the window, so I'm like, okay, I was very diligent today about getting my routine back on track, waking up, meditating, journaling, let's get my routine back on track, because that's going to it's going to even me out. So really creating that routine, cleaning is really good. You can always find something you've been looking for when you clean, right? All those things you thought you lost. And so cleaning is a good one, especially right now, because it also, I think that for me, and I know that some people think, oh, my desk is messy, but I know where everything is. I think that's true. And I've been through phases of my life like that, where a messy desk is creative. However, I really feel that if you have that moment to be able to sort of sort things when things are chaotic around you already, there's something to coming to a space. We've talked about this as writers, if you can create your space, and this kind of moves into environment a little right now. I'm talking more about the physicality. But you really try to trick your brain into that routine because your brain then will go, oh, we have a routine. Oh, good. That means we're safe. And that's just our nature. Like once we get, oh, this is where we go to get our food. This is where we go to do this. The more that you can create that, this is what we're doing now. This is what it is now. We are amazing how we can adapt. And, our body adapts to certain things all the time. So really, really it is. Yes. Anna, we're going to talk about that tomorrow on Screen Reader. So she's asking, can anyone make a routine for me? Your ADHD makes it really hard, but I can also adapt to someone else giving me a routine pretty easily. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. I know it makes no sense. No, it makes total sense. But that's how your stupid brain, it's not stupid, doesn't take itself seriously. So your brain's not stupid at all. Your brain is keeping you safe. Your brain is thinking, oh, but this might not be it. You're incredibly smart. And I think that intelligence and ADHD or any of those go together, because I think you're just getting ahead of yourself. And so it's like, yes, I'm actually going to give you a routine tomorrow. So really, I really think it's important. And so I really, really want to stress that. Yeah, reading is a great one. Put reading, and that's what we're going to get to, into your routine for sure. Like, so these are the things I think that make us feel more safe, like getting that environment going. Showers are a great one too. I didn't put that in there, although that kind of falls under self-care. So I'm taking a couple showers a day because it really eases me. But definitely showering before you go to sleep. There's something that helps you calm down for that. I think it's really important. And then getting to get your kind of mental head together. I should have put reading in here too, but meditating, journaling. You're a writer. Write it out. Get those thoughts out of your head. Write them out. Being able to, people that show up here taking some sort of action like you're doing right now, I think that action, doing something creative is create something, create an action, write a little scene, write the scene you saw today. We actually did that. It's kind of a long story, but my friend and I were kind of accosted, and it was such a weird scenario. And so I went home and I wrote the scene out, and I was like, what did he say exactly? And we wrote the scene out, because it was just, well, I'll definitely need to use it. But it also helped me sort of process that, how weird it was. And so it's like, you have that ability, you're writers. So being able to meditate, journal, work your way through things, I think is really, really important. And for us creatives, to create something and take action on something, I also think will help us kind of get our head out of just thinking about scenarios that we can't control, scenarios that haven't happened, trying to predict the future, things that don't serve us, doesn't serve you to do that. These things serve us. Meditating, journaling, reading, writing, taking action, being creative. I loved Sally, how she posted her, she did it in Screeners. I don't know if you did it in Gatekeepers too, but she posted making her puppets. I believe they're for your son's project, right? So she's making puppets, and she's so creative. She's using her hands. She's like, let's do a puzzle, whatever floats your boat, but doing something physical, I think, is really, really, can be cool. And creating an environment to, with the people that you're in. So that kind of moves us, a perfect segue, into environment, like really setting the example, like I said, of setting the example. And this is like, when do I get this kind of alone time with my son? This has been amazing. So, but this is also a good time in your life to make amends with someone. If there's someone that you've got this stray thing happening, people are kind of a little more vulnerable, right? vulnerable right now, and they might be more dating. If there's someone that it's always sort of bothered you that you've never sort of solved something, this is a good time for that. It's a good time to kind of reach out to people. They're more open to hearing how you are, and they're certainly really wanting to be heard and wanting people to think that they're, wonder if they're okay. People might be more like inclined to listen and more inclined to hear what you have to say and more inclined to connect. Right now, because we're so cut off from each other with all of these rules, the ability to connect is really important to us. And so being able to connect on any level is going to be huge. So if you can handle that and you can do that, and I highly recommend that this is a time to kind of bridge those gaps and make those connections. Really is a time that you can do it. And then if there are people that's not the case and they're not connecting, and you've got the people, I think someone mentioned, people that are being chaotic, and there's, and we talk about this a lot, and a lot of times we talk about this more in terms of when you have success in your life. Sometimes friends get really wonky. It really shows. You think that your true friends are shown when in times of crisis. In my opinion, true friends are shown in times of success. People are very willing sort of to help each other up, but when you're up here, a lot of times, if something good happens in your life, people are not kind. It's kind of weird to me, but it really, and people, it's happened to me, it's happened to friends of mine. Like it's a very real thing that success brings trouble in relationships. It's so weird, but it's true. And if there are people that are adding another level of stress in your life, we talk about, and sometimes it's not even about that they're adding stress, or that sometimes we move through our lives and we come to a place in our life where the friends that we had is kind of what got you here won't get you there. So you might come to a place in your life, and this happened to people going, you are crazy. Not so crazy now, but what are you doing? This is nuts. And I was just like hunkering down. I had Doug who was like, go man, go. But just going for it anyway. And so sometimes the friends that got you there won't get you here. And it's not that I got rid of those friends, but it's like you focus on the people that are supporting you in that moment, and you support people as well in the ways sometimes you're not helping someone in their life in where they are. And if you feel like they can grow more without you, it might be time for you to step back. So being able to really be honest about those relationships, I think is huge. And I think it will help you, it will help them. And sometimes you have certain friends that are in certain times of your life, right? Just because you're friends then, and sometimes it's kind of is a little dance that we do. Sometimes they're right for now. Sometimes people have realizations. Sometimes they marry someone or date someone that doesn't fit into the mix, and so they go off on that path, and then that breaks up and they come back or not, or whatever. Not to take it too seriously, not to judge or condemn or belittle, or there's no hierarchy, there's no ladder. It's just, I'm in this place in my life, you're in that place. Do we support each other or not? And it's totally fine, no matter what. Doesn't matter. So this is a time when things are kind of, figuring things out, that we can look through it. So hang on, I just want to make sure that I'm getting, yes. I love you as a mentor. Love you back, totally. Reading activates both sides of the brain. Totally. So good, Charles. Absolutely. Honestly, like we'll work on the routine thing together for sure. Because changed my life. Totally changed my life, putting a routine together. And now the more that I do, my routine shifts. And so I'm actually going to share with you kind of the first one that I did tomorrow. So it is like, and we'll do that in Gatekeepers at some point too. Future's a hard thing to predict until it becomes the past, right? Wonky is the reverse of Wonky is the reverse of right? Yes, jealousy is absolutely a thing, and it's a sad thing and not necessary and weird. That's one of the emotions that I just have a really hard time with. You would argue that true friends are found when a big change happens in your life, good and bad. Oh, that's good. Some people will leave you when things are going bad, and when things are going good. Yeah. Enduring all change, marriage, children, awards, monetary losses, monetary changes, changes in faith, or losing one's religion. So good. And absolutely true. Be support spirits too when you see them. Absolutely. I make it a point. Actually, I was just at a conference, and well, it's kind of a long story, but there was a woman there. I was kind of looking around at style and fashion for a friend of mine. And so there was one woman who really stuck out, and I thought her style is amazing. So I thought I'm going to find her later and tell her that. And then she got up to share, and it turned out she was like so worried about what people thought about her. And I thought, wow, isn't that funny that I had that impression of her? And then coincidentally, we ended up sitting next to each other at lunch. And I was like, funny, you should sit here. Out of, I don't know, 700 people, we sat next to each other at lunch. And so I was able to share, you were out of these 700 people, you were the person that I picked as having the style that I thought was cool. Interesting, right? Super cool. So I really think, there is something to that, and really, like, just be aware relationships are working, not working. Be aware when you're supporting someone, when you're not, when you should step forward, when you should step back. It's all just kind of a dance that we do together in this world. And so if you can be that example of setting the example of making amends, doing the friends because of being there for someone, or not, letting them go if you feel like that's what they need to do, like, not with love and grace, like, as much as you possibly can. So as we look at all of this, right? I mean, these are the things. If we can create these routines, if we can write, if we can, create a routine of writing, if we can journal every day, even if you're not writing a screenplay or whatever, even if you're, this is the time. We've got time now. This is the time where we can work on if you're in the screenwriter course, you can go through all of these trainings and the Gatekeeper thing, like, do some binge watching on these trainings, put a notebook together. And by the time you go through these trainings, like, oh my goodness, if you were to do that, they're all in this Facebook group. How about it? Listen to me for day after day after day. But I know that we're sincere, and I know the handouts are good. So, do whatever helps you in that regard. And then how can you take all of this, right, and then apply it to a screenplay? No, totally works. Like, the more I think about it, the more it's like, holy smokes, this is huge. So if you go back to that physical thing, you want to give your hero, your protagonist, and the people around them the same traits that we're talking about. We need, how much better is it when you see a hero struggle with being afraid? How much better is it when they go into battle and they're not just kind of doing that kind of thing? They're really struggling. Then we really get this, like, sense of them being, heroes, and really stepping into that. How can you create those waves where they have moments of true fear? I've always thought too that it's odd when like a random kind of normal, or a woman, and they just move on. Like, I would think, if you've never been violent in your life and you suddenly, either accidentally or on purpose, or you get caught in a scenario and you kill someone, it's odd to me when people in movies are like, oh shoot. Or not even when they just have a moment. That would haunt you, I would believe, in a major way. And so really, really, really being able to use that in a big, big, big way. So so you really love to hear more about the routine. You often feel like yours is pressed upon me. So I'm not something I'm actively choosing. You need to change that. Absolutely. So let's do that that's a whole nother topic. Let's definitely make that a topic. We're going to do it tomorrow on Screen Reader. And so we'll do that. And then that will help me kind of develop it for here too. And so, yeah, and I'm going to remind me, Joy, if I don't go there, for sure, we're going to talk about that at the end. So, and I love that we have so many people on YouTube tonight. Yay, that's good. That's a neat thing. So as you create these, the physicality of courage for your characters, create the physicality of fear, and you will get the physicality of courage. And you can also use your subplots. Last night, we have our finished course where people are learning how to write screenplays, and we talked for an hour and a half about subplots. It was so great. And so we talked about using your characters, your subplots, your supporting roles to really reflect back. When you create a character, and you let the audience know who this character is in 3 ways. Number 1, what the character does, the actions that they take. That's how we know who they are. Number 2, what people say about the character, what other people say, oh, he's really this or that. And number 3, what the character says about themselves. That's how you learn who someone is what they say, but what they say also gives you an insight into their mind and what other people say about them. Those are the things that create a character. So use those characters. You can have someone be showing courage and their sidekick be totally afraid. That's often, you see that in comedies a lot. And so they can be reflecting often. And I love like the Zach Galifianakis character in The Hangover, who is courageous in a weird way because he's so disconnected. And so that's a really funny mix, right? So that you see that kind of sometimes in comedies. So really using your subplots and your characters to show that, create that physicality. And then mentally, you can also do that and show their thoughts. Same way, use your subplots, use your side characters. I think, you can do physical things with your protagonist in terms of dry heaving or whatever it might be that's showing that they're afraid. And then that's showing, sometimes you can have them do a courageous act and then you're like, oh my God, I think that it's PG in here, but it can be like that kind of huge reaction of what they just accomplished. Like, you don't see that very often, right? When someone does something amazing, where sometimes you get a cocky, like, yeah, that's pretty good. But like, when you have those moments where you've stepped up in a major way and then later you fall apart, like, oh, I can't believe I just did that. I think that that's a more common response in general life than you see depicted in films. But also the mental thing of using what people say, using what they say to each other. I really think it's a huge way that you can go. And then create an environment that both supports your protagonist as well as challenges. We are in times right now. These are turbulent times. You want to create that kind of turbulence for your characters, as well as we are fine. We are here right now. If we're here right now, we are fine. So create that for your character. Both environments. Where is the environment where they have their, and where's the environment where they are not safe? No matter what they do, they are not safe. And that's what we actually this afternoon had me in titles. The Fighter with Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale. I've never actually seen it. And so as I was creating today's handout, had that movie on. And wow, what a great movie. And just really great character in the mother, and I know she was nominated. I'm not sure if she won, but I know she was nominated. But really great character in that she provided both a safe space and an unsafe space, depending on the moment, right? She was very an unsafe space for her children, but she loves them. She clearly loved her kids. She just was a mess herself. And so how do your supporting characters, how is your environment both safe and unsafe for a character? Sometimes I remember when I went to see Forrest Gump, I love going to the movies in big crowds. Say things. The two that really stick out was this one where in Forrest Gump, when he finds Jenny at the Washington Monument, I think that's the moment he's running to her, and someone behind me yelled out, "Here comes the sponge." And she created a very unsafe sort of space in our eyes, but in his eyes, she was home. That was home to him. So every time he saw Jenny, he was home. And that was a safety for him. And it actually ended up creating Little Forrest and all, or did they name that? Creating the baby, whatever. And it's like, that became his safe space. So it's really interesting. And you can do that same with, it's such a great movie, and same with the Gary Sinise character where he's, screaming, "Is that all you got?" Like, he's in such a super unsafe position, almost in a, well, not almost, in a glorious moment of safety, of letting go. So you can really play with that environment, like really explore that. The other moment in the movie is in Rain Man, when he's letting Rain Man drive the car, or he's letting Dustin Hoffman drive the car, and the shot is through a fountain and music's all playing. And I was like, this is a great setup they have. That was my thought. This is a great setup they have with the music and the shot. And I'm seeing all the technical things and I'm thinking, wow, they did that really. And I think you hear the voiceover of him muttering and Tom Cruise talking. And then right as I'm thinking, what a great setup, the person behind me went, "I love this movie." So good. Right? It shows like that's the result you get when you set up a shot like that. That's what happens. So I just wanted to kind of put that out. So all of these kind of come together. Yeah, so many stories, use them in their screenplays, right? Exactly. Judith had to kill a walker and she had, oh, good. Glad to hear it. I haven't seen that. That's still on, like a new episode. And told without dialogue or showing the kill. Nice. Love it. Ooh, I just had a great idea. Go, Charles. That's so great. This could come out of there. Wow. My work is done. Charles had a good idea. Oh, I love it. The Good Doctor is sort of doing the same with Sean and Leah. Breaking Bad, absolutely. People love being bad. It is fun to play a bad character. I have to say, I did the lead role in Extremities. Well, I did Extremities twice. Once as the roommate and once as the main girl. And it was fun. I had fun torturing him. Really, we were really good friends, offset. So there you have it. So those are the things. And then I always am going to put on all of our handouts, use Brooke Castillo's model. If you're not, definitely listen to Brooke Castillo's The Life Coach School podcast. She outlines the model. And that's basically that all circumstance, even what we're going through right now, is just a circumstance. That's all it is. And she's been coaching every day. So highly recommend that you get on her mailing list. Some of it you'll have heard before because I'm a student of hers. And so I use a lot of her modalities. Also, I have been accepted into Eben Pagan's Inner Circle Accelerator program, which is like high level coaching. And it's coaching twice. I'm being coached twice a week and learning about coaching. And so for a year. So it's pretty massive. And so I'll be learning more modalities in that. And now I should have my certification in Eben Pagan's modalities this week. And then this is the next level after that. So I'm really double downing on this because I really think this is the thing. And if we can combine these coaching modalities and the things about learning about ourselves into writing, or will the work, even if you don't write screenplays, if you understand the combination of your life and your screenplay, how much better are you going to be coaching that reader? How much better are you going to be saying to the producer, no, it's missing the fear. There's courage, but there's no fear. Being able to write. Like, to me, it's like, I can't even get it out. Like, if I can spark you to have ideas, like he said, ooh, I just have a great idea. If I can spark that, it's actually Castillo, Shri with an O on the end. If I can spark that, and I can spark you to really get the authenticity of life into work. Ta-da! So good. So good. That's why we're here. Like to keep these to half an hour, but it's tough times right now. So thank you. I'm very excited to be, it's sort of surreal, actually. Eben Pagan was the very first person I ever learned marketing from. It would be like about 3 years ago when I first found him, and then it took a year before we realized we could do Hollywood Gatekeepers. Castillo, right? Sure, you got it. And now it's like we're going to do a live, we think we're going to do a live event where we go to his house and we go into his studio and we do some taped things with him, and it's a little bit weird, but it's awesome. So I'm taking everything I learn. It's all for you. So you're the best. So yeah, so everything that I'm learning there is just to turn right around and apply. What they don't have there is the writing stuff. And so being able to take the screenwriting and combining the coaching, I really think is the key for you. And I want to be able to give you those skills so then you can go out and you can create your own online business and you can go coach writers, readers, producers. You can be that conduit for them. That's how we see this working. So that's our goal here. That's why we're here. There you have it. It's pretty simple. We learn the coaching. I've got the reading experience. I hand them both to you. You take that and run with it in whatever way you see fit. If you have some other element that you can add in there, awesome. Whether it's writing, whether it's health, whether you're a massage therapist, be a massage therapist for writers, which is the perfect segue. Joy is demonstrating this in a beautiful way. So she is taking what she knows about creating. She's been certified as a life coach as well. Life coach, right, Joy? And creating the challenge where she's doing meditation. Let me go back. So join her 5-day mindful writing challenge, combination of meditation and intentional journaling. So this will help you with your routine, right? Because she's going to have set times, correct? Correct me if I'm misrepresenting you. Amy Porterfield did a whole, you guys probably know who that is, but she teaches online marketing. She did a whole story about one of her students and their product, and she had it all wrong. She was really mortified. So correct me if I screw up. But I guess the person wasn't there, like Joy's here right now. So combination of meditation and intentional journaling. So it's just 15 minutes a day. Definitely need to do that. She's got the link there. Definitely go in. That whereas Joy's on our team. So Joy's exactly exemplifying what we want you to do in terms of taking the work that she's learning here, taking the work she already knows, combining it into something, presenting something for people. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So definitely, think about how you might do that as well. When I'm hosting the Tonight Show, I will have you as a guest. You have my word. Think. Done. You're watching a movie a day during the quarantine, so possible add 2 hours block for that somewhere. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Why the heck? I hadn't seen The Fighter. It's a great movie. And I mean, we're doing sort of I'm working, but we've got the Netflix on, my son and I are binging, and he likes mysteries, so I'm seeing movies that I wouldn't normally watch. So it's awesome. So I'm glad, yay, we're learning from you too. And I can't wait to see the challenge. I'm super excited, and I'm super, we brought Joy on our team pretty early on, and Shri as well. And we met them here in Hollywood Gatekeepers. So you never know where it might all lead. That is fun time in your example schedule, but it's also work time if you're a reader. It is. It's all good. And now, as you watch whatever you're going to watch in your fun/quarantine time, use these principles. Where are you seeing them? Where are you seeing what we're talking about in the films that you're watching? How can you apply that as a reader, as a writer? How can you apply what you're learning about yourself, what you're learning about courage, what you're learning about subplots, whatever it might be, and apply it to what the next level that you're creating? They always say when the time is right, the right teacher will appear, something like that, as I butcher it. But I think that's true. But really the next level appears, in my opinion. Like we've all come to this level. We've all met here. What are we creating? You're inspiring us to create. It's totally we got this thing going. You're inspiring us to create, and then we're giving it back to you, and then you're going to move on to give it to someone else. And that is how we go. Everyone, you're all royalty and successful. You're here doing it. Perfect note to end this on. Thank you for that, Charles. I love it. Awesome. Yep. It all gives you ideas for your own writing. It's all good. Thank you. Thank you, Alda. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. And then I salute with my left hand. What's up with that? Hey, you. Yeah, you, the one reading this. You're awesome. So good. You are watching. Yay. Hold your hand still and show us my ring tat. Really? Can I just see? It's upside down. Wait. There we go. It's the symbol of church. A lotus flower. So stay healthy. On that note, little lotus flower for y'all. So stay healthy. Do your routine. We'll talk about that more tomorrow if you're in screeners, and we'll come back to that. If you're not in screeners, we'll come back to that for here as well. So if you're watching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. Thanks for all the YouTube people that popped on tonight. Really love that. Stay safe, my friends. Definitely join Joy's challenge and watch some Supernatural on Netflix. So download the handout. We'll definitely make sure it is in the chat. So just look in the chat. If you're watching this, just scroll. You can find it in the chat. Download that handout, seriously, and do it. Actually do it. That's your homework for now. All right. I'll probably add a few more sessions in here just to try to help keep everybody in a good, safe, nice space. All right. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for showing up. We'll see you soon. Bye. Everybody dance now.